Commodities and some commodity-related sectors are hinting at inflation picking up. What's your take?
Well, it looks like we're certainly getting people thinking about inflation again, if not actually seeing it. We've seen certain stocks, certain sectors have some remarkable runs. The one that sticks in my mind is FCX, Freeport, having gone from the mid-teens to almost 20 in about 2 to 3 weeks. And that's one of those tells, because it's copper, it's various metals. And of course, there's the old saying that copper is the only commodity with a PhD in economics. We'll see how, PhDs get it wrong too a lot of times, though. Don't forget that. What we're seeing, I think, is a confluence of factors that are getting people a little bit more nervous about inflation, in the sense of, in the oil markets, you're starting to see West Texas trade at or above 60. That's been a long-term dividing line. Some of it may be seasonal with the cold weather that we're seeing through much of the U.S., raising demand for hydrocarbons. A little bit of worry of the unrest in Iran, whether that spills back into the world commodity markets. Both of those are probably temporary events. I'm not really going to venture a long-term opinion on what's going on in Iran. When you're starting to see gold pick up, I actually start to think a lot of gold's pickup is related to the fact that the cryptocurrencies went mad, and I think that they, in many ways, stole gold's thunder. And I think as Bitcoin and some of the others seem to be finding a level here, I think gold has gotten a little bit of its luster back, pardon the pun. But again, it just comes down to, where does the inflation come from? I think the big underlying theme here is the tax reform bill may be launching into some fiscal expansion, which we really hadn't seen throughout the whole cycle. This has more been a monetary phenomenon. And so I think if you throw fiscal stimulus on top of an already robust economy with low unemployment, you may start to see a little of the inflation, if not actual inflation worries pick up. The way I put it was, you've had this monetary expansion, sort of unprecedented with the central banks, with QE, pumping money for the better part of 10 years. And people say, well, where's the inflation? I'll tell you where the inflation is. It's been in financial assets. All the financial assets have seen remarkable inflation, and I hope your portfolios have benefited from that. But now we start to wonder whether that goes into the aspect of real goods, and perhaps the fiscal stimulus might be the sort of thing that pushes it over the edge a little bit. The flip side of that, of course, becomes, does the Fed get extra vigilant about the inflation? They've wanted a certain amount of inflation. How actively do they try to manage that? And if they overshoot, that's a very big worry for the market. But I think we're some ways away from that. I think we'll need another few weeks to really tell whether this inflationary trade is temporary or permanent, but it certainly bears watching.